Hey, welcome everybody to the late great planet Earth. Here we are in the last days. I'm Brother Dan Goodwin, Dr. Charles Hilterbiddle sitting with me. Doc, let's start this show off with a verse from Matthew 24. Let me read verses 6 and 7. And ye shall hear of wars. Hey, I'm hearing of wars, Doc.
All over the place.
And rumors of wars. Yep. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. And then verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Doc, that's just a little summary of what's upon us here.
Yes.
This is June the 24th as our recording date here. I realize that you folks on the radio and those that watch us on YouTube, it'll be after that, a week or so. But as of today, unbelievable news is coming out of Russia. We don't know if it's even true, Doc.
I tell you, I've got to where I question everything I hear about it.
Yeah, and even more than we used to a few years ago.
Yes.
I mean, there's no doubt that we've been lied to by the media. We've been lied to by our government for decades.
Yes.
And it's only gotten
but it's
worse.
for our good, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not big enough to handle the truth, you know.
It's like a Hollywood movie now. What I just read about what's going on supposedly in Russia is like some Hollywood movies that I've watched about Russia. And,
military coups.
Yeah, Red October, Hunt for Red October. What's the other one? The Denzel Washington one, the submarine one. I mean, it's somebody in Russia had broke off, and they had they were getting the nuclear codes, and so we don't know the validity of anything. This is just happened this morning early, and let me just read the headline here let's see. This is from J.D. Rucker. Wagner Group agrees to de-escalate in Russia. But that's just a part of it here. We don't know what's really going on, but this is some sort of a military within the military.
Yeah, they're mercenaries that are being used by Russia.
Yeah, and
not only in Ukraine, but they have personnel scattered in many nations around the world.
So the report here, what they seem to be telling us is that these people have rebelled and are possibly trying to overthrow Mr. Putin.
Different reports talk about, a military coup and all kinds. But we've been hearing for how many months now? 69 weeks now, I believe it is. This war's been going on over there.
Yeah.
And how many times you heard about Putin's dying with cancer, and Putin's on his way out, and all this other stuff. And then you see him standing up, speaking to 100,000 people in Russia.
Yeah.
Who do you trust? What do you believe?
Well, we know who we don't believe. We everything the media says we take with a grain of salt.
If it's the mainstream.
Yeah, and the mainstream too. I mean,
oh man, what a mess.
Let's just do what I had planned before this even come up. I wanted to talk about what's going on in the world, especially Russia, Israel, Iran, Syria. We just did a TV show about that last week, as a matter of fact. Show number 153. We talked about your DVDs and your books that you offered the audience. And we talked about those countries and the Middle East, what's going on over there and what it means.
And just this last week, all of those players have been in Iran in a conference. And they're even talking about how that they're going to start in what's called today the West Bank. Bible calls it Samaria. But anyway, and what's happened this week in Israel, 4 days in a row.
Yeah,
Hamas terrorists have coming in.
What I read, Doc, was they have gotten more, what's the word? More fancy. What's the word? More technical, more advanced.
But as a result, for the first time, best I understand, 16 or 17 years, Israel used drones and rockets this week in their own land as a result of this. And so that means Israel is not going to put up with it. They used a drone to blow the car up that these guys were getting away in.
Yeah. And I know that one of them, one guy was shot. There was a civilian.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was a civilian, at least, unless they're not telling us. You know how that is.
Yeah.
He had his family get down on the floorboard, and he pulled out a firearm, and he shot and killed the first one guy. And the other guy drove off. I think they caught him 16 miles down the road. He took off in a stolen vehicle, but they caught him.
Yep.
Now, but there's several different.
But it's
instances.
been like 4 days in a row, in relationship to that conference, that all the heads of all of these groups that belong to Iran were in Iran getting more to instruct, because they're getting ready for this five-front war against Israel. I guarantee you.
Yep. And so I have heard rumors, and I can't prove this, but I've read different men talk about the fact that the nuclear arms of Iran's nuclear program is underground now.
Yes, it is.
And quite a ways underground, and going to be very difficult for anybody to deal with that, although I believe Israel will handle it when the time comes. And they're getting very close, and this is getting very serious now.
Very serious.
And the fact that Syria is on the border, and Syria is kind of, who's in charge of Syria?
Yeah, and here's the thing. Anything you're going to hear about advanced technology, let's say a new weapon that's come out, that weapon's been out and ready to go for months before it was released information.
Yeah.
This week, information was released on Israel's new laser protection system, able to shoot down anything with a laser, unbelievable accuracy. I'm sure they've had it quite a while before they let us know.
Yeah.
They're preparing for what may happen if they can't stop it. But again, like we said last week, the prophecy in Jeremiah chapter 49 is, he said, I'll break the bow of Elam. The bow is the mechanism to launch the arrow. So what's that all mean? I don't know. But
well, it sounds like destroying the neighborhood to me.
Well,
fooey on the bombs. If they destroy the neighborhood, they can't fire the bombs.
That's right. But anyway,
now let's tie this in with what's going on in Russia, at least what we do know or what we think we know. Regardless of whether there's a coup, I've read that the vice prime minister, Putin's second man, second in command, he's took off somewhere. They said that Putin had left Moscow because these guys were
I'm sure he's got his underground bunkers just like we have for our presidents.
Yeah. And he can run the country just like our president.
Yeah.
I wish we had a president, but you can run your country from wherever you go, the underground bunker or an Air Force One or whatever Russia won.
I wouldn't want to be an Air Force One if it was in war.
Yeah.
I want to be on the ground.
I don't want to be with our guy. I trust our guy. But and it's awful that you can't even trust what your government tells you. They lie every day.
No, and we live in, we watched this week the full display of a two-tiered justice system in America.
And so Doc, I heard this week that I wanted to share with the audience. Again, this isn't something I can prove either, but I'm pretty sure that at least the accusation is true. Here's what I heard. I heard that Zelensky is touting the fact that he believes Russia is going to take out their nuclear plant. I believe that part is true.
I'm confident that part is true.
I believe Zelensky did say that. Yeah. Here's what I think, and this is just me.
I know where you're going, and I probably agree with you.
I'm going back to Germany and the Reichstag.
You got it.
The Reichstag was the congressional building of Germany. Hitler blew it up. This is fact now. This is not conjecture. This is fact. Hitler blew up his own building, blamed it on Poland to get him into, to give an excuse to go attack Poland. Yep. And this is as old as old school stuff. This is what they do.
It's pretty obvious they did it to that dam. I'm confident of that.
That was just a couple weeks ago.
And I'm confident they had a major part in whether we're the only people that blew up that gas line or not. I mean, who knows for sure?
There's no doubt Russia didn't blow up the pipeline. Russia didn't blow up that dam.
No.
That dam they were using that dam.
Yeah.
That would have hurt them more than.
Yep.
So they're getting blamed.
But
for these
as
things.
Tucker Carlson said, you got to understand, these such good guys, they wouldn't do that. It had to be that evil man in Russia.
And so Zelensky is telling the world that he believes Russia's going to blow up their nuke power plant.
So when it's blown up, it'll be blamed on them.
And the purpose of this is to get NATO involved.
Exactly.
And that was what started the
But
war.
NATO's already involved. Anybody with any common sense and any eyesight can see that's already happening.
So what does all this mean? We don't know what's true and what isn't here. We don't know if there's a coup going on in Russia. We don't know all of that yet, so we're going to stay away from it for now. We've mentioned it, that there's rumors out there, but we don't know if someone's been overthrown. We don't know if Putin has already taken care of it. We don't know. But here's what we do know. Every week, every month, Putin is being accused of things. He's being look. There's Wuhan labs. I don't know what else to call them. What do you call them things?
Well, DSL-4 laboratories.
Okay. We know there's 3 or 4 of them right on the border of Russia in Ukraine, and Putin sent his ambassadors to the UN to complain about that. Nobody believed them. Yeah. But it's true.
Even our own political leaders now have admitted all that. No, they've known this all along, yet they didn't do anything to protect it.
And we started the war pushing NATO on the Ukraine, which Russia was definitely not going to stand for. I predicted it. I said they won't take it. They'll fight, and there they are. Now, here's a last-ditch effort by Zelensky to blow up his own building, blame it on Russia, and because it's nuclear fallout now, NATO gets involved. Now what? Now Russia's up against the wall. What do? Yeah. How about Ezekiel 38?
Yeah.
How about Fooey on this? I'm going down. I'm going to take Israel on. We're just going to, it's the bear that's cornered, and he just he just runs.
He's going to charge, yes. But this thing in Ukraine is nothing but a money machine for the elites.
Yeah.
I saw an article, something like, I forget how many $1 billion we sent over there in armament. None of them work. They're all bits and pieces and broken down. So the taxpayer paid somebody to send all the broken material over there so that we then could replace it at modern price. I'm telling you, this is nothing but a game for them.
I believe I heard, I know we're out of time, but I believe I heard also along that same line, they were already working on government contracts with private entities to rebuild the Ukraine.
Yes, they had a meeting this week on that process of rebuilding Ukraine. Yeah. Of course, BlackRock, by this time's over, they're going to own at least half of all of Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, folks, we're just trying to tell you what's going on in the world. You say, well, what's this got to do with me? If you don't think this has anything to do with us, your eyes are not opened.
Yes.
My goodness, this has everything to do with us. This has a lot to do with America. This has a lot to do with God's people in America. The salt has lost its savor. And let me tell you something. You better make sure that you've trusted Jesus as your Savior this morning, or whatever time you're listening to this broadcast. You better be ready, because that trumpet's getting ready to sound.
Amen.
And the saints are going to be taken out of here. All right, well, we're out of time. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Until then, keep your eyes on them skies.